So first of all, what we're going to do, we are going to mark out all the segments on the template. So just watch and see how I'm going to go about that. So once you mark each one, you mark for the side it is representing. So this is actually for the right. So once you are done marking each segment, you write this is R representing for the right. So once we are marking for the left, we do the same. Let's proceed. So after marking out the whole segments, what we're going to do, we use our ruler to join all the marking dots so that we'll have the full shape. So now it is time to mark out the biggest part of, or the biggest segment of the pattern. So we have to do the same thing. After marking it out, we use our ruler to complete the lines so that we will have the full sketch. So after doing that, remember to mark for the right on it. It is very important, do not skip that, okay? So now let's proceed to use our ruler to complete the lines. So after the whole process, this is what you're going to have, and what we're going to do next is to cut them into shape. So I'm done cutting them into shape, and this is the pieces. Now we are going to proceed to the next step. So now after marking this way, you turn and repeat the same process this way. Hope you understand. So I have repeated the same process for the other side of the foot, and then I marked, you see I labeled the side. This is L representing for the left. So we're going to go ahead and cut them into shape also. So after doing that, what we're going to do next, pick the leather for your landing and then mark out the shape of your template on top of the leather for your landing. This is the back of the leather, so we're going to mark out the shape here. And we're also going to make sure we do not miss any details. We're going to mark out every dot and make sure it is visible. So after marking, we turn and repeat the same process for the other side of the foot. So right now we're going to cut it into shape. So now I am done cutting it into shape. What we're going to do next is to align all the parts. So you label it. This is for the right. So now I'm going to align all the segments to make sure it is fitting into the diagrams, you understand? So I have to place them to position. If it is not, I'm going to trim them down to make sure it fits properly. So that's what you're going to do. So I have trimmed this one and it is okay now. You repeat the same process on all the other parts. Very important. So if it is too big, just trim it a little bit to make sure it fits properly. So from the settings, you can see that everything is now ready for assembly. So what we're going to do next, you apply your gum on the leather and also on all the other parts of the segment, which is made of Mako 2mm. Remember that these segments are marked out of Mako 2mm. Hope you remember that. Mako 2mm. So once the gum is set, what we're going to do is to realign those segments back to its position. Remember, I have the lines on this leather, so I have every dot where these segments are to be placed. They are on the leather, so what I have to do is just to place them to position carefully. So I am done doing that. We're going to repeat the same process on the other side of the foot. Remember what I said? Exactly what we did here is what we're going to do on the other side. Now we're going to gum it to our main leather, which is going to be the leather for the upper. So mark out where it is going to sit at. And what we're going to do next is to apply gum on both surfaces and then bond the two of them together. one thing you have to do is that you have to apply the gum twice on each surface, because you know we are not going to stitch. So cut a small marco, just a little piece. You can see what I'm holding, so you're going to place it here. So you see how small it is, so that's where I'm going to place it, at the front here. I repeat, you have to apply the gum twice on both surfaces, because you know we are not going to stitch. So this is going to help the two surfaces to bond properly. So after applying for the first time, you come back and apply for the second time. After that, once the gum is set, you can now match the two together. So once you have merged the two together, turn the surface, that's your upper, and then wrap your rag around the surface slightly, and then use either your pencil or a similar object to create those lines. You see what I'm doing? So that's how you do it. You begin to trace those lines, make sure they are visible, just the way I'm doing it right now. So after that, the next thing we're going to do is to turn the pattern this way and then cut it into shape. So after cutting it into shape, this is what we're going to have. You see it, and remember, this is exactly the same step you're going to take on the other side of the foot. That's on the other side of the pattern, you understand? This is one side, which is the right. Now this is what we have. The next thing we do is to dial the edges. So you use your cutting board to carefully dial the edges of the pattern. So after dyeing the edges, the next thing you do is to light the edges to make sure you remove the hairy part of it. This is going to give it a very nice finishing look. Very important. So after that, let's proceed to making our soles. This is our template, and this is Mako 6mm, which we're going to use for our insole. This is going to be for our insoles. So after marking, you turn, you flip it around and mark for the other side of the foot. So after that, after marking out the shape, the next thing we do is to cut them into shape. So after cutting them into shape, we smooth the edges to make sure we have a uniform edge. If you don't have this tool, make use of your rough sandpaper wrapped around your brush, and then you go round. But if you have this tool, it makes the work easy and stress-free. So let's proceed. So after doing that, you gum the insoles to your leather, prepare them for folding, and then you proceed to fold the insoles. So once you are done folding, use your razor blade, cut down the crease at the back of the insoles. Very important. And after that, this is Mako 2mm. We are going to welt the insoles on top of this Mako 2mm. But before then, use your sandpaper to brush the surface so that it will help the bonding. After that, mark out the shapes of the insoles on top of the Mako 2mm. So after marking it out, apply your gum on the edge of the lines where the welt is going to sit. So this is our welt. To make work easy, use your masking tape to hold the two pieces together. You understand? This is going to make the work easier. So if you're going to make more than one pair, you can still use this hack. Just use your masking tape, hold the two together so that you do everything at once. Now use your sandpaper, sand the surface. After sanding the surface, you also apply gum on the welt. So now when the gum is set, replace the insole back to the outline and then pick one of your welt. What you're going to do first, cut the edge of the welt to make sure it is in shape, and then make sure your insole is gripping to the Mako 2mm. If not, use nail to hold it, and then you start your welting. You saw where I started the welting from. Once you get to the other edge, you have to remove the insole and then cut slightly very close to the first edge, and then you force the other one in. With that, you're going to have a tight joint. Now what you're going to do next, cut this out, use your mallet, tap it around the welt to make sure it bonds properly, and then you proceed to do the same thing on the other side of the insole. And after that, cut off the excess Mako 2mm. So now this is our main sole. This is Nora 3mm with prints at the front. So it has designs at the front. Now what we're going to do, we're going to gum the welted sole to the Nora 3mm. So just apply gum on both surfaces and you gum them together, and then tap your mallet on two of them and then cut off the excess material. The reason I have the Mako 2mm in between the sole and the welt, it is because it helps the welt to last longer. Now we have our heels ready. So this is scrap. Put Mako on the surface. This is scrap 6mm. File the edge here before you attach it to the sole. That's smooth that edge before you attach it. So place it this way and then mark out where it is going to be placed on the soles. So once we are done doing that, what we're going to do next, we use our rough sandpaper to roughen that place where we are going to gum the heels. Apply our gum, allow them to set, and then you attach the heels. Very simple. And after attaching the heels, what we're going to do next, tap our mallet on the heels to make sure it burns properly, and then you cut off the excesses. So after cutting off the excesses, we smooth and finish up the edge of the soles, and then they are ready for use. So I have done that, and this is what we have. Now we are going to proceed to the next step. So you last your pattern, and after lasting the pattern, the next thing we are going to do is to couple. So this is what we have after the lasting. We repeat the same process on the other side of the pair, and then we proceed with the coupling. So I would like to share with you some of the tricks I use while finishing the edge of my soles. It is very simple. You see what I'm doing? This is just my rotary tool, and then my foam which I constructed. The tool came with its own foam, but I found it too small, so I have to create this one for myself. They both serve the same purpose, you understand? And I believe you're already seeing the difference. So if there is no power, this is what I use. It is handy and it has helped me a lot. So I hope you have already seen the difference. So this is just what I do, and I just decided to show it to us as a bonus somehow. So this is what I do. For some of you that have been asking me in the comment section, how do I get that shiny edge? So you see it. I'm not yet done, you understand? I'll still go over to it again. So you see the difference, you see it. So after that, after going through the soles, I use my liquid foam polish and then go around the both of them, and everything will appear very neat and well finished. I actually did this to answer the questions of those who have been inquiring on how I get the shiny edges. So this is it, and I believe you have seen what I did there. It is simple. Now if you need the soles templates that we used in this video, it is available in PDF from size 41 to 46 with 7 free patterns, which is going for 2,000 naira only. And also if you need this pattern, you cannot make yours, it is 1,000 naira only also. Then finally, my private online classes on loafers shoes, the registration has started and it will be ending on last day of January 2025, and the price is just 5,000 naira. The classes are meant to start or resume by February. So if you need any of these services, if you need the soles template or this pattern, or you need to register for the classes, just make your payment to the account number you are seeing on the screen. Send your proof of payment to the WhatsApp number under the account number, and I will respond to you immediately. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comment section, and also don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell icon to get update as soon as a new video is dropped. Have a nice day and see you in my next video.